another print disability, which makes reading, holding a book, or turning a page difficult or impossible. The content is copyrighted by the respective publishers. For more information, please visit us on the web at nfradioreading.org.
Hello, this is P. Fitz, and for the next hour, I'll be reading from the July 3rd issue of the Tribune Sentinel, covering Niagara County and Grand Island on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Upward Niagara Chamber welcomes Brandy's Cask and Cow to Lewiston. The Upward Niagara Chamber of Commerce hosted a ribbon-cutting ceremony June 25th for Brandy's Cask and Cow at 840 Center Street in Lewiston. Brandy Anello is the new owner of the restaurant. Elected leaders, including Town of Lewiston Supervisor Steve Broderick and Clerk Tamara Burns, Village of Lewiston Trustee Tina Coppins, Niagara County Legislator Michael Casal, and Assemblyman Angelo Morinello, joined chamber leaders, friends, and family members in welcoming Anello to the Business District Restaurant Row. Anello received certificates of recognition from Morinello in the office of New York State Senator Bob Ort. The Upward Niagara Chamber shared Brandy has been a familiar face and staple at restaurants in Niagara Falls and North Tonawanda, and we're excited to watch her become a staple in the Lewiston business community. A special thank you to our elected officials for joining us and helping welcome another new business to the village. If it added, if you haven't stopped in yet, be sure to visit Brandy's Cask and Cow and show them a warm Lewiston welcome. And there's a number of pictures here with owners of the Cask and Cow, Brandy Anello. Another picture with more people, ribbon cutting, certificates being handed out, etc. Castellani's Party on the Patio celebrates art, music, and conversation. The Castellani Art Museum of Niagara University welcomed members, friends, and a wider Western New York community to party on the portico on June 25th. Castellani Art Museum's annual summer celebration was set against the backdrop of the museum's iconic portico in the current summer exhibitions. It brought together art, music, conversation, and community in one of CAM's most anticipated annual traditions. Party on the Portico featured live music by pianist Kevin Clark, Light Bites, sponsored by the Niagara Falls Culinary Institute, and a series of plein air style live art demonstrations by regional artists Kath Schifano, Doug Mess, John Sauter, and Joel Molindwa. Throughout the evening, visitors Visitors had the rare opportunity to watch each artist create an original work in real time, offering an intimate look into their unique artistic processes, and creative approaches. Beam updated the audience on museum happenings and funding initiatives, And in keeping with CAM's ongoing lifetime membership initiative, the museum honored artist Schifano, whose work is represented in CAM's permanent collection. Schifano received a lifetime membership in recognition of her artistic contributions and lasting impact on the museum's collection and community. Party on the Portico embodies everything that makes CAM special, Beam said prior to the event. It brings together artists, members, students, and the community in a way that is accessible, engaging, and inspiring. It's a celebration of the creative energy that continues to thrive throughout our region. For more information, you can contact, visit Castellani Art Museum, all one word, .org. And they can be followed on Facebook, X, or Twitter, and Instagram. Gardening season is here. Mark your calendar for Sunday, July 12th to check out some of the beautiful gardens across Grand Island. The 10th annual Grand Island Garden Walk runs from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., providing visitors a chance to explore a variety of garden landscapes and themes open to the public. Visit the Town Commons Gazebo at 2255 Baseline Road to pick up a garden map or go for a drive or a bike ride, and check out the many unique gardens shared by hardworking gardeners. For more, email Grand Island Garden Walk at gmail.com, or you can call 716-465-7396. This event is possible through the support of individuals and local businesses. For those interested in donating to this community tradition, checks may be made payable to Bridgeview Garden Club and mailed to 3280 Stony Point Road, Grand Island, 14072. For those in need of a little assistance in regards to food security, there's a food giveaway serving area codes zip codes 4150 or 14150, 14120, 14228, and 14072. On the first Friday, the Salvation Army of Tonawanda from 10:30 a.m. while supplies last. And on the third Thursday, at the Grand Island Town Hall, 9 a.m. or from 9 a.m. for as long as supplies last. That's the mobile food pantry. Grand Island bicycle race to honor island cyclist. The Buffalo Bicycling Club is hosting the New York State Team Time Trial Championships in memory of Glenn Hansen for the second year on July 12th. Anyone who would like to participate is welcome to get a team of 3 or 4 riders together. The goal is to achieve one's fastest time around a loop of Grand Island. Categories include Elite, Category 4, Novice, and Masters. These are for both men and women for the state championship title. In addition, there will be an age-based individual time trial categories for races outside of the state championship title. Time trial bikes and equipment are welcome in all fields except the Cannibal Road bike only category. so participants can feel free to use their time trial or triathlon equipment. As part of the Buffalo Cycling Club's commitment to grow women's cycling, the women's fields at the USAC sanctioned events are free. Juniors are also free in any eligible category. For more information or to register for a time trial championships, go to Biker or Bike Reg, BIKEREG.com/Grand Island team time trial in memory of Glenn Hansen and New York State. New York State TTT championship. Good luck. Grand Island American Legion Post 1346 scholarship winners. Grand Island American Legion Post 1346 is proud to announce the selection of this year's scholarship winners from candidate pools of dozens of high school seniors. The three awardees are Luca Grassman, Charlotte Tower, and Kieran Meisel. The Grand Island American Legion Post usually sponsors 3 scholarships for Island High School seniors, 2 scholarships for students attending a college or university, and most recently awarding a scholarship to a student pursuing trade/vocational training. All applications are submitted through Grand Island High School's guidance office. There's a picture with Richard Bonarek, Anne-Marie Marbaker, Luca Grossman, Charlotte Tower, and Kieran Meisel, Paul Summer, and Mark Manthe. Congratulations to those young folks. Pedal for Parks 2026 to roll again. Ride celebrates 250 anniversary of the Declaration of Independence and beauty of New York State parks. The Niagara region of the New York State Office of Parks and Recreation and Historic Preservation announced the 3rd annual Pedal for Parks presented by the Maid of the Mist in support of local New York State parks. The non-competitive family ride will take place Sunday, September 20th, and will start at Fort Niagara State Park. There are 3 different routes with varying lengths that will take riders through Art Park, Joseph Davis, Fort Niagara, 4 Mile Creek, Wilson, Tuscarora, Devil's Hole, Whirlpool, and Niagara Falls State Parks. The 100-kilometer ride goes to the Golden Hill State Park. The routes for the ride will show off millions of dollars in recent investment made by New York State Parks in partnership with the Niagara River Greenway, the New York Power Authority, the New York State Department of Transportation, and the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation in the local trail system. All proceeds will stay in Western New York and support programming in the parks. Qualified New York State Parks, Access Pass, and Lifetime Liberty Pass holders can send proof of eligibility to Angela.Berti, Berti, at parks.ny.gov to receive a discount code to register for the 11 and 19 mile rides. More information and registration can be found at NYSStateparks.gov. bikeride.itsyourrace.com. Those interested in sponsorship opportunities can visit naturalheritagetrust.org/sponsors-pedal-4-parks, or email angela.berti, BERTI, at parks.newyorkny.gov. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Tribune Sentinel covering Niagara County and Grand Island on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Town of Niagara, understanding the move to a single tax rate. This is Sylvia Virtuoso, who's the supervisor of the Town of Niagara. Town of Niagara is taking steps to eliminate its current two-tier property tax system and replace it with a single tax rate for both residential and business property owners. The change follows the town's comprehensive reassessment, which brought properties to full and fair assessed value, including commercial properties throughout the town. The town board unanimously approved the new local law to rescind the existing homestead and non-homestead rate structure. The law would take effect when the town certifies its assessment roll on July 1st. Following last year's reassessment, the difference between the total taxable values for homestead and non-homestead properties was reduced to a minimal amount. That made it possible for the town to move forward on one uniform tax rate. Although there was not enough time last year to complete the required process, including a public hearing, the town board chose to move forward this year in anticipation that the assessments would remain at 100% and support the transition to a single rate. The town of Niagara is currently the only town in Niagara County that still uses a two-tier tax rate system. Aside from the city of Niagara Falls, moving to a single rate will bring the town more in line with the rest of Niagara County's municipalities. I'm also sharing tax rates for municipalities across Niagara County so taxpayers can better understand the differences among communities, including which municipalities are assessed at 100%, which have different tax rates, and which pay a separate refuse rate. At this time, the town of Niagara residents do not pay a refuse rate, and our county tax rate remains among the lowest. However, as long as Republic Services remains open, the town will not need to levy a refuse tax. With Republic's eventual closure approaching, it is important for residents to understand that a refuse tax will likely become necessary in the future. Wishing everyone a safe summer. Falconer Park Free Community Concert event celebrates 25 years. Village of Youngstown and event organizers announced the return of their free summer concert series in Falconer Park. Beginning last Friday, this year marks 25 years of the popular event, originally begun by the late Mayor Neil C. Reardon. Opening night featured a performance by Mackenzie Highlanders Pipes and Drums, along with a ribbon-cutting ceremony and rededication of the refurbished pavilion. Family-friendly events run from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. and offer a perfect way to kick off the 4th. Well, that was a good way. So, picking up with Friday, July 10th, the Barroom Buzzards. On the 17th, it'll be the Taverners. The 24th, Claudia Andres and Friends, a jazz for Dennis. The 31st, Joe and the Schmoes. August 7th, Creek Bend. August 14th, Second Time Around. August 15th, Marcia and Monty. August 21st, Brass Chants with Jerry Andres. The concert series is a cherished tradition since 2001. Is made possible by the Village of Youngstown dedicated volunteers and generous sponsors. Admission is always free. Street parking is available, is also accessible via the free Discover Niagara shuttle. For more information, call Youngstown Village office at 716-745-7721. Niagara Hospice is gearing up for the 13th Annual Hospice Grand Fondo. Niagara Hospice is looking forward to the 13th Annual Hospice Grand Fondo bike ride taking place August 1st. Grand Fondo originates in Italy, where long-distance bike rides are followed by large celebrations. The event starts and ends at the Niagara Hospice campus at 4675 Sunset Drive, Lockport. Hospice Grand Fondo offers riders the choice of a 15, 33, or 62-mile route. Each one features a number of rest stops stocked with refreshments. Following the ride, participants return to the Niagara Hospice campus for the post-race celebration featuring food, drinks, and live music by MJ and the Way. Those who do not participate in the ride may purchase a separate ticket to attend the after party. Many individuals ride in memory of a loved one. Proceeds from the event support the specialized care and services provided by the nonprofit organization. Anyone interested in registering for the Hospice Grand Fondo can visit Hospice Grand Fondo, one word, .com, or call 716-280-0766 for more information. Serious injury motor vehicle accident in Porter. On Monday, June 29th at approximately 10:11 a.m., the Niagara County Communications Center received a report of a serious personal injury motor vehicle accident in front of 1678 Braley Road in the town of Porter. Initially, responding patrol units confirmed the crash involved a dirt bike. The operator of the dirt bike, a 20-year-old Caden Smith of Youngstown, was found unconscious and suffering from serious injuries. Deputies from and EMS personnel immediately began providing emergency medical care at the scene. Smith was transported by Mercy Flight to Erie County Medical Center with life-threatening injuries. She continues to recover as of this publication. The operator of the pickup truck involved in the crash was treated at the scene for minor injuries. Preliminary investigation indicates the dirt bike attempted to enter Braley Road through a tree line and pulled into the path of a westbound pickup truck traveling on Braley Road. Crash remains under investigation by the Niagara County Sheriff's Office Accident Investigation Unit. Experience Niagara Falls. Affordable adventures await. Niagara Falls State Park offers many free or low-cost options, making for perfect staycation. With prices rising in, well, just about everything, now is the perfect time to take a vacation. Niagara Falls State Park, to Niagara Falls State Park. The place you visited on a second-grade field trip is easier and more affordable to visit. With the new attractions in place, visitors can experience Niagara Falls in ways they've never imagined. Experience Niagara Falls State Park and Islands. Niagara Falls State Park is free to the public, and that includes up-close and personal views of the majestic waterway at Terrapin Point, Luna Island, and Three Sisters Islands. What distinguishes the U.S. side of the falls is that this is a whole different experience. You're in it, you're around it, you're next to it, said Angela Birdie, Director of Public Affairs for the State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, Niagara Region. If you really want to feel it, come here. Though Canada may have more Instagram-worthy view, they can see it. We can feel it, Birdie said. Native flowers and plants are in full bloom, and I've never seen it prettier. I think we've hit our stride in how to manage the new landscaping and infrastructure, and I think it's never looked prettier, Birdie said. We've got a really strong horticultural team in place. All this landscaping is relatively new. It's gorgeous, she said. This is a great time of year to come out, come visit and see it. Experience it for the first time anew. Birdie added, people are welcome to come in for research appointments if they're interested in coming in and doing research or learning more and going through these documents. We're open for the public research appointments. Locals are welcome to do that if the exhibit's not their thing, or if they want to learn more and do more with us. To make an appointment by email, contact Courtney.Gearhart, Geerhart, at parks.ny.gov. Include research requests in the subject line. Lobby displays change each year and highlight a particular theme. In 2025, it was the 140th anniversary of Niagara Falls becoming a state park. This summer, the pieces on display are tied to power and revolution, the history of power in Niagara. Gearhart said it's the idea of the history of the power in Niagara Falls specifically and how that affected the falls, the park, the dichotomy of preservation versus the power of industry, and how there was a kind of clash at times, but also work together to provide power for the community. Birdie emphasized the historic value of Niagara Falls State Park. This is more than just a water falling over rocks. We say it over at Cave of the Winds, the world changed here. That is a fact. A lot happened here. There would be no public parks if it weren't for this place. She added, people come from all over, they write about it, they paint it, they photograph it, and it's in our backyard. Crow's Nest is free. One of the most unique views of Niagara Falls will come from the area near the Prospect Point Park Observation Tower. The state parks is overseeing creation of a new crow's nest and targeting a late August reopening. It's coming along. It's going to be, I would say, on par with Cave of the Winds in terms of access to the falls. Birdie said, for the people walking right alongside the water, it's an amazing view. The existing platform area isn't optimized for viewing, let alone picture taking. When finished, the new and improved crow's nest will connect the overlook with the area near where guests board the Maid of the Mist. During peak season, this elevator alternative also will help with moving people out of the attraction area. In the shoulder months, it will be a two-way staircase. More affordable than you think. Of course, there is a fee to take part in Niagara Falls State Park's two most iconic attractions, but the price is less than 2 movie tickets or leaving a vehicle in downtown Buffalo on an event night. The Cave of the Winds ticket price fluctuates depending on the time of year, with adult passes ranging from $14 to $23. Youth entry starts at $10 and increases to $19. State Parks is offering a new Cave and Save promotion wherein cavegoers can save on admission tickets to the Aquarium of Niagara, Old Fort Niagara, Rainbow Air helicopter tours, and Niagara Virtual Experience, and Frank Lloyd Wright's Martin House in Buffalo. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Tribune Sentinel covering Niagara County and Grand Island on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. The Meat of the Mist ticket is just $30.25 for adults, $19.75 for youth ages 6 to 12. It includes a souvenir rain poncho, a favorite for celebrities, athletes, and dignitaries for more than 100 years. The tour boat ferries past the base of the American Falls and onto the basin of the Horseshoe Falls. The dramatic passage leading you through the roiling waterfall, whitewater, and massive rock formations. The Niagara Falls State Park website notes the Maid of the Mist returns guests to the shore with newfound appreciation of the power and grandeur of Niagara Falls. For years, a sticking point for locals interested in exploring Niagara Falls has been the price to park, but it's actually only $10 on Goat Island. Moreover, people can park for free at the Shokoff Power Station ruins site and walk or take a trolley into Niagara Falls State Park. The former Shokoff Power Generating Station also offers free access to the Niagara Gorge. Park for a nominal fee at the Aquarium of Niagara and walk or take a trolley into the park. Take the free Discover Shuttle. Also, there's a Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Welcome Center at Niagara Falls State Park, which is free. The Ralph C. Wilson Welcome Center serves as an ideal starting point for guests. This $46 million, 28,000 square foot venue has ticket and information stations, memorabilia that includes a piece of Daredevil Nick Walenda's 2012 Crossing Border Wire Walk, a gift shop with Niagara Falls swag, and a concession area that serves DiCamillo's Bakery Pizza and Biscotti, Fowler's Chocolates and Sponge Candy, and even Dipping Dots Ice Cream. Earlier this month, 2 attractions opened inside the Welcome Center. Voices of the Falls is free. The $44 million permanent interactive exhibit explores the past, present, and future of Niagara Falls, the park, as well as the surrounding community, in the voices of those who have been part of its history, featuring first-person perspectives, historical narratives, artifacts, hands-on, interactive, and video presentations. The nearly 5,000 square foot exhibit highlights the cultural, environmental, and personal connections that have formed the nation's oldest state park. The stories from the indigenous people who first inhabited the land, to the Underground Railroad, to the tragedy of Love Canal, as well as the flora and fauna of the park, are included and will provide visitors with a richer view of the park beyond the waterfall. Additional elements of the project include outdoor models of a mural and signage. Birdie said, "We in Niagara Falls worked very, very closely with the community on this exhibit. When we did the content for this, we created a co-creation group, and it was Tuscarora and Seneca, and we met every single week for 2 to 3 years, where they told the stories, they put the stories together, and we said, what do you want the world to know? So what you see is in their words, their stories, instead of us trying to do that. Call outs to Old Fort Niagara and Castellani Art Museum, and encourage guests to extend their stay and discover more Niagara region history. Birdie went on to say the creative team sought first-person accounts for the Welcome Center attraction so that it's more meaningful. It tells a better story. Above the Roar is an $18 experience. State Park's licensed concession partner, Delaware North, teamed with award-winning experiential design and media production firm MDSX on Above the Roar, a 4-minute ride providing an incredible look at the falls. The fully immersive, multi-sensory visual reality experience takes participants on a thrilling journey around the most powerful waterfall in America, North America. Through exclusive aerial footage, motion-enhanced seating, and immersive sound, participants soar along the U.S. side of the Niagara River, just above the rapids, and then over the American Bridal Veil and Horseshoe Falls, before gliding through the gorge and plunging into the depths below. There, under the water, encounter 7 species of fish that are native to the river before returning to the brink of the American Falls and ending back inside the Welcome Center. The room that houses the VR ride is tricked out with lights and music to further enhance the experience. A moving chair serves as a vehicle for the adventure. Delaware North's Niagara Falls General Manager Michael Barnes said, "The park has 2 iconic attractions, has for years, and they're different experiences. Cave of the Winds, Maid of the Mist. I challenge those guys for something that's not like those experiences. And that's what this is. It takes you where you can't go. Indeed, even those who frequent Niagara Falls State Park haven't seen it from this vantage point. But the ride is more than just thrilling. It's subtle, but the script in there goes through a lot of the history and the information on the falls," Barnes said. Welcome Center Plaza is free. Outside of the Welcome Center, there is a wayfinding map and points out attractions both in Niagara Falls State Park and the city of Niagara Falls. On the outside of the dedicated restroom building, guests can take a picture in front of a lenticular mural. Native American art and history lines the periphery, and reconfigured staircase doubles as a beautiful gateway to the water. courtyard will host music and special events throughout the summer. Niagara Regional Archive is free. Last summer, State Parks announced 7,000 square foot former regional administration building was transformed into a Niagara Regional Archive and multi-purpose community room. Headed by curator Courtney Gearhart, the building provides a rare opportunity to explore remarkable and special pieces of Niagara Falls history. Niagara Falls is really unique, Gearhart said. I always say there's something new to learn in Niagara. So if you haven't been to the area in a while, if you haven't been, it's a great time of year to come out. Come visit, see it, experience it for the first time anew. We went through all the other stuff. Thursdays on the Water announces summer music lineup. Beginning June 9th, this is at Gretwick Park. There was a press conference back in June on the 25th. County Legislator Jesse Gooch announced this year's lineup for the Thursdays on the Water. This is, okay, and there are themes. July 9th, July 9th is Hippie Night with Working Man's Dead at 6, and then headliner group Thurman Brothers, a tribute to the Allman Brothers Band in their Fillmore East concert at 7:30. Next Thursday will be Summer Street Summer St. Patrick's Day Bash with the Irish Wake Band at 6 p.m. and headliners Desire, which is a YouTube tribute band. On the 23rd, there's no show due to the fact that it's Canal Fest week. On the 30th, the featured night with Applejacks and is opening, and a headliner Strictly Hip. August 6th is Bill's Mafia Night with Sliver at 6 p.m. Headliner Hurricane Scorpions tribute band. August 13th, Outlaw Music Night with Cold Beer Creek at 6 p.m. and headliner Edge of Sundown at 7:30 p.m. August 20th is award-winning 80s and 90s party with Sector 7G at 6 and headliner Nerds Gone Wild at 7:30. August 27th is Classic Rock Night with the Floyd Concept offering Pink Floyd classics at 6 and at free live concerts are held from 6 to 10 p.m. Gates open at 5 p.m. at Gretwick Park, 1300 River Road. Food and drink is available, and classic cars are on display. Organizers shared bring your family, friends, lawn chairs, and enjoy an amazing summer concert series right on the water. Gooch said, we've been doing these theme nights for several years now, and that's kind of one of our feature things that we like to do and makes us unique and special with some other events around the area, and we pride ourselves on that. This year we have some unique themes. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Tribune Sentinel covering Niagara County and Grand Island on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. This year we have some unique theme nights. As for the music, he explained we appreciate all the bands. We're huge supporters of local music and regional music and just live music in general. He added, this is Gooch, we have a backlog. There are a lot of bands and musicians who want to get on our stage and perform with us, but doing 7 shows, it makes it difficult. So we're trying to get some of the bands that we promised a couple of years ago to get on. They keep getting scooted a little bit, so I try to fit some bands that we've been eyeing up over the years. Also unique to Thursdays on the Water is that each week a different charity is featured and funds are raised for said group. City of North Tonawanda Mayor Austin Tylick said this annual event is one of the biggest events that we have here at the park. North Tonawanda loves to see this event every year. Fantastic artists, fantastic sponsors, fantastic vendors. Money goes to a lot of great causes here as well. And we really, it's just a wonderful way to utilize the largest park we have in North Tonawanda. He added that this is a great economic booster for our city. We bring in people from all across the state, the region, to come to our city, and really we can't be more excited than we are. WGRF 97 Rock sponsors the concert series. Rock jock Carl Russo has said, we have a seriously great crowd of people that come from all walks of life. They come down here, people from the neighborhoods, people from Canada. Some snowbirds come up from Florida, motorcycle enthusiasts. I hope to be riding a Harley down here on some of these nights. Looking forward to a great season. For more information, visit thursdaysonthewater.com. That's Thursdays on the Water, one word. Momming as a millennial. Raising emotionally safe kids starts with our words, by Christine Jarizzo. You're overreacting. You're so dramatic. Crying isn't going to change anything. Most of us have probably heard one of those phrases at some point growing up. Maybe they came from a parent, grandparent, or another well-meaning adult who believed they were helping us become tougher. I know I did. I grew up in a family where emotions weren't something you talked about. At best, my feelings were dismissed. At worst, they were ridiculed and mocked. From a very young age, I learned that having emotions was a problem and showing them was even worse. Whenever I expressed big feelings, I was often told I was being dramatic or overreacting. My mom even nicknamed me Gloria Swanson, referencing an old Hollywood actress she described as overly dramatic. I didn't understand the reference as a child, but I understood the message loud and clear. My feelings were too much, so as I got older, I stopped sharing them. Like many millennials, I've spent much of my adult untangling the messages I absorbed as a child. I became a people pleaser, avoided conflict. I questioned my own instincts. Looking back, I can see that years of having my emotions dismissed taught me something I never should have learned, that my feelings couldn't be trusted. Then I became a mom. And one day my son was having a tantrum when someone casually laughed and said, "He's got his mother's dramatics." Later, I heard my daughter being called the next Gloria Swanson. It stopped me in my tracks because I know firsthand what labels like that can do. Children don't hear those comments as harmless jokes. They hear them as truths about who they are. When we repeatedly tell children they're dramatic, sensitive, difficult, or emotional, they don't learn how to regulate their feelings. They learn that having feelings is the problem. And research backs this up. Psychologists call it emotional invalidation, dismissing, minimizing, or criticizing someone's emotional experience. Over time, children who regularly experience emotional invalidation may become less confident expressing themselves, have greater difficulty regulating emotions, and may even begin doubting their own experiences. I've experienced these things firsthand. When I'm working through a situation in therapy, my instinct is to dismiss my own feelings. It's as if is a reflex deep within me that immediately doubts my feelings as real or valid. No, knowing what I know now, I'm intentionally trying to break that cycle with my own children. Our home has plenty of tears, frustration, and big feelings, but my goal isn't to stop those emotions. It's to help my children learn what to do with them. That's where emotional validation comes in. And if you're anything like me, you may have wondered, if I comfort my child during a tantrum, am I rewarding the behavior? Here's what I've learned. Validation doesn't mean giving in. You can acknowledge what they're feeling while still holding firm boundaries. So what does emotional validation actually look like? There are a few of the practices. These are a few of the practices I'm working on as I learn to become a better active listener for my children. I'm certainly not perfect, but they've helped me slow down and respond differently when emotions run high. Be fully present. I try to put down my phone, make eye contact, and give my child my full attention. Sometimes the greatest gift I can offer isn't advice, it's my presence. Listen before I solve. My mama bear instinct is to jump straight into the problem solving. But I'm learning that my children don't always need solutions right away. Sometimes they simply need someone to hear them. Instead of offering advice immediately, I try asking, can you tell me more about what happened? Or what's the hardest part? Name the emotion I see. My children don't always have the words to describe what they're feeling, so I'm trying to help them put words into those big emotions. Instead of assuming or brushing it off, I might say, it sounds like you're feeling really frustrated, or I wonder if you're disappointed because things didn't go the way you hoped. By naming the emotion, I hope they'll eventually learn to recognize and express it themselves. Reflect before I redirect. This one has been a game changer for me. I'm learning that I don't have to agree with my child's reaction to acknowledge it. Before I correct the behavior or jump into consequences, I try to say something like, that sounds really hard, or I can understand why you feel that way. I want my children to know their emotions are valid, and even their behavior needs guidance. Ask what they need. As my children get older, I want them to know they don't have to navigate hard feelings alone. Sometimes before offering advice, I try to ask, do you want me to just listen, or would you like help figuring out what to do next? I'm hoping it will help them identify the kind of support they're looking for while reminding them they're not alone. None of this excuses behavior or removes consequences, but it does communicate something essential. Your feelings are safe with me. And when the kids feel emotionally safe, they don't just come to us in the easy moments, they come in the hard ones too. This kind of parenting didn't come naturally to me. It wasn't what I grew up with, and I don't always get it right. There are still moments when I slip into old patterns or feel my frustration rise, before I can catch it. But I've learned that parenting isn't about being perfect. It just requires awareness and willingness to keep trying. I think often about the little girl I used to be, the one who just needed someone to say, I see you, and that makes sense. That's what I'm trying to offer my children now. Because when we change how we respond to feelings, we don't just change behavior in the moment, we change the story our children tell themselves about what they're allowed to be. And maybe that's what this work really is. Learning to speak to our children in a way that we once needed to be spoken to ourselves. Christine Giarrizzo is a blogger, podcaster, and mom of two, navigating the realities of modern motherhood in real time. Through her writing, she explores the tension between who we are, who we were, who we are expected to be, and who we actually want to become. Her work focuses on helping millennial moms move out of survival mode and into a life rooted in clarity, creativity, and self-expression. Through honest storytelling and research-backed insights, Christine creates a space for women to question outdated norms, trust themselves, and build lives that feel aligned and fulfilling, while offering practical tools for moms who feel overwhelmed and ready to reconnect with themselves. You can find more from Christine at contemplativemama.com and on Instagram at contemplativemama1. You have been listening to a reading of articles and features from the July 3rd issue of the Tribune Sentinel covering Niagara County and Grand Island. We read from the Tribune Sentinel every Saturday at 4 p.m. Your reader has been P. Fitz. Thank you for listening.
Coming up next in the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, we have the Lockport Union Sun and Journal. Following that at 6 o'clock is the Jamestown Post Journal. And at 7 o'clock, we have the Niagara Falls Review. Stay with us for these readings and more. If you or people you know shop at any of the Dash's supermarkets, please save Dash's register tapes for radio reading. Our agency receives $2 for every $100 in Dash's register tapes. Radio reading has raised thousands of dollars so far. Anyone can drop off their Dash's tapes to the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service at 1199 Harlem Road, Cheektowaga, between William and Clinton Streets. Or Dash's tapes can be mailed to the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service at 1199 Harlem Road, Cheektowaga, New York, 14227. Any questions on Dash's tapes for radio reading? Call us at 716-821-5555, and thanks for caring. following program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision, or have another print disability.